I'm Sargis. I'm the CEO of Union of Advanced Technology Enterprises. I'm a tech entrepreneur myself, successfully failed a startup, founded two companies in Armenia. Um, as we will be speaking about raising, it's worth mentioning also in my experience, I was able to raise a little bit above $1 million for my hardware startup in Armenia. And as UATE CEO, managed to secure a couple of $1 million for UATE activities, different projects, and have the experience working both with private investors, including angel investors, venture capital funds, as well as with international and government organizations in the scope of different grants. So today I will be talking more about there are two parts. We'll be talking about what goes into the pitch, what you should be preparing before even starting to reach out to investors, then how you deliver the pitch, and especially how you deliver the speech whenever you are in front of audience. It's not one-on-one, because we have been seeing founders struggle mainly with the public speaking. They're able to deliver the message when they are one-on-one, but when they are speaking with the public, there are a lot of problems. So there will be a little bit emphasis on that. Whatever I'll tell you, I learned from my mentors, from my experience, and I'm going to share as founder to founder my experience. So I'm not here to teach you anything. Everything I say is an advice from my experience, and you are free to accept or disagree or whatever. So this is your fight, your journey, and you decide whom to listen. You might not agree whatever I say, but I'm happy to discuss. And whatever I say, those are not rules. So feel free to experiment, create your own ways. So before we start, a couple of words where we are now and what is Union of Advanced Technology Enterprises. We are an association of more than 200 tech companies, including whole ecosystem like startups, internationals, outsourcing companies, whatever. Our mission is to develop the Armenian tech ecosystem. The organization is 25-year old, and the vision is to make Armenia a tech hub, tech center that delivers utmost value to Armenia and to the world. And we are working on mainly the problems we are solving are those we are focusing on the problems that are applicable for all the ecosystem or to a large group, and those problems are not solvable for it doesn't make sense for a company to focus on that problem. Basically, ecosystem problems, infrastructure problems, policy problems, and so on. And with that, we are working on 4 strategic directions. Those are education and workforce development. Some of you might have heard about ARMAT. Whatever you see down there, it's a sample of a lab which we establish in Armenian schools. We have 650 school labs like that in 650 schools of Armenia. Other direction is ecosystem development, where we do mainly policy making, trying to be a translator between the government and tech ecosystem when it comes to like taxation, any regulatory problems. We work on putting Armenian tech on the map of the world. With that, we do Digitech. Maybe you have heard of it, the biggest tech event in the region. We also bring to Armenia international events, like last year you have heard of WCIT. Also, we help other industries to utilize technology and get to know the Armenian tech and partner with tech companies, our members. So that's on a nutshell what we are doing. As As I came into UATE 2 years ago, with my startup experience, we started being more active with startups, and we saw 50, 60 startups joining last few years. And we are starting a chain of activities to support the startup founders, especially the founders who are first-time founders and on their early stages. The idea of this workshop came from Seda. She approached me asking if I can help her to hone her pitch. So I told her, let's do at scale. Let's invite other people, because whatever I'm going to tell you, most probably there are people who would like to listen as well. So thank you, Seda Jan. And this is a chain of two sessions. Today, I'm going to speak. Next session, you will be speaking. So I'll tell you how to prepare and how to pitch. Then we'll give you 2 weeks to prepare. And it's not mandatory if you wish. So then you'll come back. We'll organize an arrangement that you can deliver your pitches, and I'll be giving you feedback. I might also manage to invite a couple of other experienced startup founders who will be giving you feedback as well. So with all of that, let's start. So first of all, please raise your hands if you are an active startup founder full-time. Okay. You raise your hands if you are working somewhere or you are an outsourcing company, but on a side you are doing your project and you are telling I'm doing a startup. Okay. Okay. So first of all, if you approach an investor telling that you are like doing startup on a side, you failed. So don't approach investors if you have a side, if your startup is a side hustle. Okay, I'll elaborate on that more, but let's start there. And right, what is pitch? Anybody can tell me what is pitch?
When we tell and describe to investors our company or startup, showing them what we do, how we do it, and expecting and financing.
Okay, we tell investors what we do, how we do, and financial ask. Okay. Any other ideas? What is pitch? No ideas? What is pitch?
Representing yourself as an individual.
Mm-hmm. Representing yourself as an individual. Yeah. If a kid asks her parents for ice cream and they cry for that, is it a pitch? No? Yes, yes. So the pitch is the presentation or an act to have the audience, your target audience, do whatever you want. So today I don't have a, so today I'm presenting, but I don't have a goal for you like to do something, right? So today I'm kind of sharing my experience. This is also a presentation. But pitch is the presentation that aims to convince the audience to do what you want to do. If you're talking to investor, your goal is to have the investor to invest in your company as the end goal. It might go down into small goals, like the goal of this presentation, today presentation, but overall the goal is to have the audience do whatever you want them to do. Okay. And usually investors aren't going to invest in you after listening your 3-minute pitch. that the goal of 3-minute pitch would be have them get them interested and have them agree to meet you afterwards, so you can go lay down, like to dedicate you more hours to listen what you have to say, present your plan, and so on and so forth. So keep in mind, pitching is not something that in 3 minutes you describe whole of your business, your product, and whatever. The goal of we'll come there. So first of all, what goes into the pitch, and today we are not going to only to talk about the pitch specifically, but also the fundraising process. So why do we need to fundraise, right? So so there are startup stages, right? Some of you might heard like pre-seed, seed, Series A, Series B. So you have a vision, long-term vision, and you have short-term goals. So you want to go from here up here. So this is your nearest milestone, right? So you fundraise that to reach this milestone. So every fundraising round has its own milestone, and it's your job to calculate how much money you're gonna need, what kind of resources you need to get here, and describe what is this here. So that will allow you to then fundraise for another milestone. Plan to needing less money. So if you are working on idea for 6 months and your customers, potential customers, never seen it, you are on wrong direction. So you are investing in wrong direction. So usually, especially if it's a software company or software product, usually it should take like 3 to 6 months to have something. They call it MVP. We can debate on that. What is MVP? Minimum viable product. So you have something to show your customers. If you gave your product to your customers and you are not ashamed, it's late. So you gave them late. So the risks are high that you are building something they don't gonna need, and it's not going to solve their problem. So you should be able to launch your product, the first deliver to your first like 5 to 10 customers without money. If you can't, then you need pre-seed money, because every stage, it's like when idea conceived in your head, there are a lot of risks. So these milestones about checking, like there are these risks, these many risks. Here you were able to check these risks, right? So every milestone is checking these risks. So at the beginning, so here you can see. So pre-seed round, there's a founder risk. So statistically, most successful companies, the most amount of successful companies have 3 founders. 2 is problem, 4 is a problem, 1 is a problem. There are, of course, there are exceptions. There are solo founders that are successful, but there is a mechanic behind. So if you are 2 founders, then you decisions when your ideas are diverse, you are not able to make a decision because you are split 50-50, right? If you are 3 founders, then it's easier to decide. If you're solo founders, this journey is all ups and downs. So you need someone, when you are down, he is up, and vice versa. So you help each other to persevere through the challenges. So there's a founder risk. If usually you need to find a founder. Maybe if you are a tech startup, maybe you are a business guy, you need to find a technical founder. If you are a technical guy, I highly encourage you to find a business guy with you. And then shit happens, right? If you don't know each other well, and so on and so forth, 70% of startups fail because of founder break. So when you start, keep in mind, investors are experienced people. They have seen hundreds of thousands of startups, and they have seen successful startups and failed startups. So when you approach them, they know better. They are able to predict better than you. So they'll look at how the founders are together, how long you have been knowing each other. Are you friends? Are you married? Are you just met in this meeting? And so on and so forth. Are you both technical or both business? That's also a problem. You want to have like different backgrounds. Technical risk, product risk, launch risk. So they might be feasibility issues. The tech that you are pitching is not, you're not able to deliver, and so on and so forth. So first is like covering those risks. So if you can cover those risks without raising any money, then you don't need a pre-seed money, because you need to raise as less as you can for as long time as you can. So don't plan to raise more money if you don't need that money. If you don't know how to spend that money, don't raise. So I promised I'm going to share my experience. So one of the very early days, I'm meeting a guy who back then was not investor. He was a startup guy. And he asked me how much money I will need to get my product to the market, and it was a hardware product. I told him, I don't know. I never asked this question. I'm just doing this. It's because it's fun. And he was like, just an estimate. I told him, okay, I think I'm going to need $500,000, $500,000 to get this product to the market. And then the next question was, what are you going to do with this money? I told him, I'm going to do this, that, then this, then that, like 3 minutes describing what I'm going to do. He looked at me like, okay, that's 50K. What are you going to do with the rest 450K? And I had no idea. So if you don't need money, so don't raise, okay? And you plan, because whenever you are raising here, so the risks are higher, your valuation is also lower, right? You will give like 10% of your company in exchange of 5,000 check. But if you are here, you will give 10% of your company in exchange of $5 million check or $1 million check. So if you raise early, then you're gonna dilute. One day you will not be able to raise because the new investors will see that your shares are small and you don't have enough motivation to continue. So it's obvious you are going to exit. So keep in mind, don't raise money if you don't need.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Can you please explain the product risk and launch risk?
Product risk is maybe your product is not solving the problem. I was just telling, if you're 6 months building, okay, never your customers in. Launch risk, you might not be able to enter the market. So, okay, then it goes like market acceptance risk. Maybe everything is okay, but market is not accepting because they have some other alternatives or something else. You might not be able to generate revenue. So in my startup, this was the major problem because we started the wrong way. So the idea came like as a fun, cool thing. We started building, then started finding a market. Then there is a risk. So in this stage we were raising, and this risk was obvious that we might launch, but we will not be able to sell the product. Cost sales risk. Okay, so in order to succeed, or most successful companies are intersection of three things: feasibility, viability, desirability. So look at your ideas. So if you don't start answering to desirability questions, so leave this meeting, go answer this question. Is there anyone that wants your product, that needs your product? So there should be plenty of people who have this problem which you solve, so they need your product. Then the next is feasibility problem. Is it feasible to do? Like, you saw a problem, you think that if you create this product, it will solve. But is it doable? For example, in our case, feasibility was a major problem. So we were trying to weigh people through measuring pressure under their legs while they are walking. So it's an innovation. You get excited. You answer this question. Is it possible to weigh person while they are walking? So it might not be possible, right? Is it possible to go to the moon? Maybe yes, maybe not, right? You need to answer to this question. And then most important part is viability. Is it possible to create a viable business model that will provide you with profits? Because at the end of the day, you are raising money to invest to come to the point that you are profitable and you are making money for you and for your investors, right? If it's not viable, so there's huge science behind this, how you answer this question, but you need to ask this question, because I have seen founders that are running like 12 years running a startup. They are #1 downloaded app in the US, and yet they are not able to monetize. So there are things that people want, they desire, it's feasible, but they don't want to pay, or they don't value that much to pay enough so you can cover your costs and make profits. For example, in Armenia, people are not paying for water like willingly, right? Because everywhere you have water. So if you are doing water business in Armenia, you should consider that. Okay, so I tried to explain what this risk is. So how you will figure, will you be able to figure out the unit economics? Like, how much does it cost to service one customer, and is this customer willing to pay you that much? And then goes round A. So before round A, everything are based on hypothesis, your ideas, right? First few rounds, this is the sales and growth, right? It goes like this. So you don't have like growth. You are doing experiments to answer this question. Is it desirable? Is it feasible? Is it viable? Once you answer all of these questions, then big money starts to come and big sales start to come. So this is the hockey stick. So this is when $10 million, $100 million funding is available. Before that, all experiment. You might be able to raise $1 million, but all based on hypothesis. You tell like, I found this problem, I found these people, they want this product. These are like top venture capitalists in the world. They usually provide in their websites, they provide templates how to create pitch deck to pitch them. So investors want to talk to a business guy who understands the importance of all of this, not only the product. So business model, how you are making money, marketing plan, competition. For example, I never talk about competition if they don't ask. So I never include competition slide in my pitch deck. Because I don't care, and I don't want to spend time. So I have limited time. I don't want to speak about my competitors. So I better speak how good I am, rather talk about. But so I'm getting asked this question. I have this prepared. I do competition analysis, but I don't include it into my pitch. So if they are asking, I have the answer, but I never include it by default. And it's matter of preferences. In your case, that might be very important slide that you want to have it. Competitive advantages. Of course, if you talk about competitors, you should also talk about your advantages. Team. I want to emphasize this. So here, pre-seed, seed A. Here, the most important slide is the team. Here, market and traction. Traction is basically your sales, how fast you can grow. Because here you don't have a traction. Here you say like the problem, solution, everything is a hypothesis. Only real thing is the team. And success is measured by, let's say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. This is 1, 10, 100, 1,000, 1 billion. So success equals to multiply these two verticals, like these two numbers. So if you work on your idea, your product, and it gets better and better, you are adding +1 to this multiplier. But if you are good executor, you do great execution. This is execution. This is idea. So if your idea gets better and better, if you have the brilliant idea, like 10 worth of 10, and you do shitty execution, you end up having $10 business. If you get the shitty idea and execute it like $1 billion execution, you have a $1 billion company. So keep in mind, product people like me, start there. You fell in love with your product, you fell in love with your idea, and you think the most important thing is your idea. I'm not going to tell anyone, even investors. You ask them to sign NDAs to tell about your idea and so on. But the most important thing is the team. Do you have the experience? Do you have the world-class people? And so on and so forth. Like YC guys say, mediocre people do not build great things. So you need to surround yourself with top-notch people, world-class people, motivated, enough experience, and so on and so forth. And you don't talk about your PhDs and so on. Like if you have someone in your team who has done a startup, even failed startup, that's better than having like 10 PhDs. If you exit it, that's even better. Then it goes like more less important thing, like if press covered you, user testimonials, and of course, very important thing, fundraising, your ask. Too many founders skip this part because they are ashamed, especially first-time founders, especially in our culture, in Armenian culture, because asking for money is a bad thing in our culture. Like either loans are bad things, asking for money, Bartkov փողվերցնել, or it's considered like մուրացկանություն. I don't know this word. Beggar. Yeah, you are a beggar. If you ask an investor for money, you are a beggar. So that's what we have in our culture and so on and so forth. You need to overcome this. So this is a deal. You open an opportunity for an investor to invest. So this is not, you are not asking for money, right? It's not begging. You tell him, okay, I have this vision. I am the best to do this, to implement this vision, this product, and we are going to win. I'm building $1 billion company. You want to be part of it? You need to invest $1 million. So that's very important. So you need to overcome this to talk about money freely. You will see founders, if you watch from the side, they are excited when talking about the product, and then money. We don't know, maybe 5,000, maybe 500,000, we will figure it out. No. Like, investors want to know, like, you know your shit, you know where you're going, you're confident about that, and so on and so forth. So don't shy about talking money. Of course, they're like, depending on how much time you have to talk to the investor, you want to prioritize. So everything starts with the problem. Always start with the problem, solution, business model, competition, team. Okay, I escape this for me. Team and fundraising. So if you have like 30 seconds, you talk problem, solution, market, business model, team, fundraising. That's it. If you have more time, then you can add market validation and the rest. So it goes there. So you create a master pitch deck depending on the occasion, depending on the situation. Then you decide what you want to skip, but never skip this, except competition. Okay, this is business model. Yeah, again, I'm saying, okay. Now, like, more or less we covered about what you want to have in your pitch. Now I want to talk a little bit about how to present, especially when you are in the in an audience like this or even bigger. So this act, when you go to you are entering the stage, and actually, like, organizers, why organizers organize these events. So this specific act has its own goal. So why? So what is your goal when you are invited to pitch your startup in an event? What is your end goal? We know you want to fundraise, but what is specific goal? Why you are there, and what are you trying to convince the audience to do? Any ideas? To get acquainted. To believe in you. Okay. So your main goal is to impress. All right, guys, whatever you are telling is right. But if you don't impress, they will not get to know you, they will not believe in you, they will not invest in you, they will not want to. So you are there right in that moment in the stage. You have 2 minutes, 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. Your only goal is to impress them. If you impress them, then the rest will follow. If you don't, nothing will. You failed. So how to measure that? If after you're leaving the stage, someone approaching you and asking for your contacts and asking more questions, that means you nailed it. If no one is asking questions, and no one approached you after the pitch, then you didn't impress them. Especially if there is a jury, there is a judge. Believe me, I have been in both sides. I have been jury myself and have been pitching as a startup. The only thing that matters, you impress them. So this is the normal distribution. If there are math guys, they know what is this. So this is the normal distribution of all pitches. So they are invisible, so no one remembers them. So if you are in an event, people are bombarded with information all the time, and usually investors are pitched all the time through LinkedIn, Facebook, email, all the time. They came to that event already, have listened couple of pitches. Now, before you someone pitched, after you someone pitches, so they have to And their brains are not able to remember all of that. And investors are human, as we are, and they can't cope with that. So the coping mechanism is like throwing away this information. Like your pitch, you does not exist, and they remember only horrible pitches and excellent pitches, outstanding pitches. So the rest they don't know. Again, from my experience, I had already some experience of pitching. I learned all the things, how to pitch and so on. And there was a grant competition. I participated, and there was a jury. There were jury members from EU delegation and from some local founders. After my pitch, there was one pitch and then coffee break. I approached one of the EU delegation people to make a connection and also to ask for feedback. And I asked him, like, how was my pitch? He was like looking like me, like he just met me. And he was sincere enough to tell me that, sorry, I don't remember. Can you remind me what you do? And I started pitching again. He was like, wow, that sounds very exciting. But I couldn't tell that when you were pitching. So if everything done correctly, they are not going to remember you. You need to do something special, extra, or go extra mile to be extraordinary. So they or you need to be horrible. So, but you don't want to be remembered as a horrible founder or horrible pitch. And you get invisible because they get into comfort, and you can tell that if you're talking to an audience and they are getting into their phones, it means they are not listening to you. They are in comfort. There is nothing. So those who are familiar with psychology, behavioral science, and whatever, there is this old brain called Krog brain, or there is other scientific name to that. That is all the time processing information that is coming and deciding whether they want to pass this information to your cortex to think about that or not. But before that, they decide you need to fight, flight, or 3 Fs. Fight, flight, freeze. Okay. And then if you're giving them this comfort, like everything is right, everything is okay, nothing new, nothing scary, nothing happening, they go into their phones, or they even look at you, but with their mind, that's why they don't remember you. Okay. This says what is most important, but let's rephrase this question. Not going so who is the most important part in this action? We are pitching. You are on the stage. Who? Presenter is the most important. Audience. Of course. Okay, so there is this. When you are on the stage, you are the local star, and you are the king. You are talking. Everybody is listening, and most of the time, founders fell in love with that, and they think they are the most important thing. Their presentation is the most important thing. Why no one is listening? Everybody should listen to me now. But the most important thing is the audience, especially the guy or guys whom you are targeting. When you're going to deliver your pitch, you should always identify who is your specific target, not all the audience, because during this kind of event, there are guests, official guests, whoever, but there are people that you know that this investor will be there. You are pitching either to this investor, or there are judges there. If it's a competition, you are pitching to judges. You should do your homework and have your target, like whom you are pitching. If you don't have target, then that's not the pitch, because pitch is the delivery of the content with the aim to convince the audience to do something, right? Then it's just the presentation, it's not a pitch. You need to know all you can know, even the color of their underwear, okay? So who they are, how many of them are you pitching to, one person or a group of people? What do they know? So you are spending all of your time with your product, your business, your idea, your team, and you have a lot of context about subject. Is this investor familiar? Let's say you are doing a fintech product. Is this investor, what is his background? Does he know about anything about finance? What they are doing right now? Are they there? Is he a judge? For example, if he's a judge, they have like answer questions on front of them, and he's just caring about whenever you are going to answer these questions, so they tick the box or do the math. So if they are invitee, they might having fun, whatever. They might be talking to other person. So what they are doing right now, what is doing your target right now in front of you? What do they need? What are their needs? For example, if it's a VC fund, VC funds have lifetime. So usually they raise the fund and they have 3 to 5 years to deploy this money, then another 3 to 5 years to exit. So if you know your investor is running a fund that is 8-year-old, they don't have money to invest. If they are in 5 years old, they have lost money, so they are looking to invest their lost money, and there will be another 3 years that they will be looking for exit. But if the fund is new, they are desperate, they don't have a pipeline, they want to invest. Okay, so it depends. You should know what are their needs right now. Are they looking for what kind of companies they are looking, what kind of verticals they are looking, and so on and so forth. What problems do they have, and what moves them? So basically, whatever you can find. As a matter of fact, sometimes founders object with me, like, how do I find? The short answer is that's your job, that's your problem. You are an entrepreneur, and entrepreneur is the guy who reaches their goals independent of the certain circumstances or the resources they have. But there are some, recently I find out that 10-15 years ago, intelligence services like KGB, CIA, or UATE used to work based on information that was divided like 80% secret information, which is coming through secret sources, and 20% public information coming from public sources like Facebook's, Google's, and whatever. Today, the equation flipped. So now most of the intelligence services working on 80% public information, 20% secret information. So believe me, you can find whatever you want about your investors. Especially investors are public. Most of them are public, so you can find information. So our long-term goal is to raise funding, and short-term goal is to impress the investor, being that publicly or in an elevator, whatever. The short-term goal is to impress him, so you get the next meeting to have time to go to lay down your amazing business plan. And to do so, to impress them, you need to connect with them. And there are 3 types of connections: intellectual connection, emotional connection, and ethical connection. And you need to nail 3 of them. If you fail at one, even with one connection, then you fail. You don't impress. Okay, so intellectual connection is all about logic. Like whatever you are saying, is it making sense? The numbers are true. They might know about your market. Did you do proper research? Do you know your numbers? Do you know what you are doing? So everything happens in the logical level. Okay, I was just saying what you know versus what they know. Okay, so do they know what you are talking about? Here I want to do some exercise. I need a chair. Okay, I found it. Never mind. Eti laf cheti papuka. Okay, we are going to do an exercise. I'm going to play a music, and you are going to guess what music I'm playing here. And I'm terribly bad at that. Okay, անտաղանդ մեռնում եմ. Ready? Eskom gam? Ասում եմ չի նկարվում. Okay, բայց էս լավ չի. Չէ.
Որ տնես վրա։
Ահա. Any ideas? Չէ. Okay, one more time. No guesses?
What's the genre of this?
I'm not going to tell you. It's a secret. Okay, one more time. Any ideas? Okay, I'm gonna tell you. Come over. Okay. I'm going to tell you just one word and try to guess now. Macarena.
Of Karapetyan.
Okay, you see, I just told one word, and you are able to not only recognize, also criticize. Like, am I playing correctly? Is it looking like Macarena, or like so? So that's the keywords, guys. Like, you need to know your audience, and you need to talk with their language. You need to. So I knew all of you have heard Macarena at least once, and I was sure that. And I was sure if I tell Macarena, you will recognize it, right? So you need to know your audience and know what they know, and you need to. I don't need to sing all the Macarena to give you the idea, right? Just one word gives you a lot of context. So you need to find those words, and you need to avoid using jargon that is specific to your field. If you are a finance guy, or if you are a lawyer, or if you are a tech guy, like, don't go all like talk about all the technical stuff that investors might not know, and always describe what you are talking about as you are describing to 5-year-old or 3-year-old. So basically the idea is be recognizable. Like, whatever you are talking, is your target aware you are talking, or are you talking the language they can understand to make sense? So basically, in order to make a logical connection, it's not enough that your content makes sense for you, is logical for you. You need to make sure it's logical for them as well. Okay, another exercise. So I'm going to move this big circle. Behind this, there are blue small dots. Try to count how many dots are there. Any guesses? 12, 15, 20, 15. Okay, we are going to do this again, and I'm going to keep it even shorter. 16. Any other ideas? 16. No other ideas, right? We are on the same page. So I'm not testing how you can count, right? So there are some talented people might be able to count this in a fraction of second, but all people can count this. So you need to organize your information, being that verbal or visual or text. You need to organize in a way that is readable, that is understandable, and easy to digest, like easiness of digestion. So this science is called information design. So you communicate with information. So make sure you organize your information in a way that is easy to read. And they call it, this is rule of 4, law of 4. So people do not remember anything that is more than 4. So if you are listing your customers or listing anything, your problems, if you go beyond 4, what's going to happen? They are going to choose which 4 to remember. If you are telling them a list of 10, then they will choose which 4 they want to remember. But that's not the thing you want. Especially this happens when you are talking to journalists. You tell some important things, and at the beginning you tell something unimportant. They will take this unimportant thing and make a headline. So when you're talking, being that to investors or to journalists, be careful how you list things. So if you have more things to say, list them, prioritize, and remove the rest. So remove anything that comes after 4, and don't talk about that. And there's another way that you can go one level up with abstraction. Let's say you have 10 customers, all important names, like world-class names, and you want to mention that. You can abstract and say, okay, there are 3 types of customers: car companies, medical companies, and mention one name from each, right? So if there are like, you can also organize that way. You don't go details like this is our customers list. Emotional connection. I think most of the founders fail at this, especially when on the stage, because founders are logical people. Usually they succeed with the logic, right? but the emotions are where we weak. So this is yeah, by the way, so we talked about 3 connections: logical connection, emotional connection, ethical connection. So emotional connection is responsible about for the attention. So if you don't make emotional connection, they are not going to pay attention what you are talking about. Hence, you will fail also the logical connection. So this is the standard attention span. So somebody enters the room, enters the stage. Hello, I'm Sargis, CEO of Union of Advanced Technology and Enterprises. We are working on, this is our mission. We are working on strategic directions, Armat, Marmat, Digitech. Everybody is on the phone already, right? Then finally, then everybody gets out of the phone to see what this guy has to say finally, right? It's ending. So you have attention, so you have a gift. At the beginning, everybody pays attention, and at the end, everybody pays attention. So you need to think about how you control the rest. So you need to change the curve. You start, there is an attention. You talk a little bit, attention goes down. You need to do something to change the curve, and then it will go. It's impossible to keep it or either growing or steady. It will be like that. But you need to be strategic about when you want to have more attention, when let them go a little bit, then again raise the attention. Any ideas how we can do this? Ask questions. Nice. What else? Make a joke. Storytelling. Increasing voice. What else? Asking questions. All right, guys. So, and I keep using this right now. You'll see though. You will recognize the patterns. So someone said, do jokes. Humor is the best tool. Is the best tool to raise attention. But I highly advise you not using jokes while you are pitching, because it's very, very thin. Yeah, it's very sensitive. There will be someone in the audience that will not like your joke. So if you're not a comedian, even comedians fail at that, right? So if you are not 100% sure, like sure, if your joke will not be misinterpreted, then I don't advise to use jokes while pitching. Drama is the second tool, and I highly advise you to overuse drama. Especially, we were talking like you start with the problem, right? So you should describe your problem as dramatic as you can, because that's the only place in your pitch that you can be negative, because you're talking about the problem. So the rest of the pitch, you don't have a space to dramatize, right? Even though you can dramatize on other way, but okay, if you can dramatize and dramatize well, okay? The world is like, people are dying, the world is ending, and so Ashkari Veshna, and then you are the Superman, you are going to save the world. So if you add enough drama, you will have enough attention. Then all of a sudden they are interested. Okay, this is a serious problem. So what this guy has to say next? How he's proposing to solve this problem? Then you have an attention. Then you can logically connect. Moves. So I think you've seen people that stand like still and don't move. Don't use those shitty things when they provide you. There are this, how they call it? Stand? Yeah. And this is for politicians, because they don't care if you listen or not. They just deliver their speech and go. So for founders, I don't advise using those things if they provide. So you need to be open to the audience. You don't cover yourself, and you move. I highly advise you to take, by the way, courses like how they call actor courses. I don't know, rhetoric courses, how to speak, and acting courses, because that will teach you how to behave on the stage. But if you haven't done yet, but you need to pitch, there are some small tricks that you can use. For example, if you stand and you remember and fix in your head that you are not moving. Your one leg always stays there. So you do like that, but you always remember to bring your leg back. Because I have seen founders that are getting nervous and they are doing like this while talking. Don't do that. Don't move too much, but don't stand still. Or you can prepare for that. I'll tell more about that. So you can stand here, then move here, keep an eye contact, and so on. So move. Pointing. I told someone to come, right? And you always were looking there, right? So there is nothing important for you. But if someone is pointing, like telling, look at that yellow tree. Everybody is looking there because I already did that. But if you point something, they're gonna pay attention. So they are in their phone. You do this, they pay attention. So point out something, and also it's easy to logically connect. So if you are, let's say, talking about lamps, right? LED lamps, and you are telling that there are 3 trillion lamps, LED lamps in the world, you would better show like lamps like this. There are 3 billion lamps like this. You'll get more attention. So if the environment allows you to point something, always use that and point to something. Voice change. Voice change is what DJs use. Like there is this late night DJ voice that you listen to radio, especially when at night. So, or you can talk like that. So you see, it's like voice changing is working. So you can use that as well, and that's very great tool. Silence. So when you stop talking, everybody is interested. Why he stopped? He forgot his speech. Well, what's going on? You'll see, you will notice that people are in their phone. You're talking, you're giving this comfort, like da 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 da, and you stop, they'll come out like to see what's going on. That's the croc brain. So use pauses wisely. One thing about silence, like you noticed I say a lot of most of us do this, and there are people who used to use a lot of connecting words like, so, and so on. Try to avoid those words or us if you are training your pitch with silence, because it gives you discomfort, but believe me, it works. And you think that you haven't been talking for ages while you were silent, like friction of a second. So you need to train that in you. Asking questions, that what am I doing today, all the time. Stand up, please. Everybody stand up. Please, please. Don't be shy, stand up. Okay. Now we are going to jump, like that. Okay, thank you. Have a seat. So if you can have, now you are listening to me more attentively than before, right? If you can do that, but also take into consideration that there will be people who will be shy, or you will be saying something that they don't understand, it doesn't make sense. So be careful with that. Do not push people too much. But if the situation allowing you, you can. Yeah, of course. So it's not like you don't have to do the same as I did. You can tell them, do 10 push-ups. No, I'm kidding. So you can maybe you are doing a demo of your product or something, that you can go to them and tell them, please stand, or maybe, like, it depends on the situation. If you can move them, do not skip that, move them. So you will have more attention if you move them. And then sound and video. This is a great tool, but I highly discourage you to use that. The reason is that if you create a pitch deck with a tool that allows you to play video or audio, it's always gonna fail. It's going to fail everywhere you present. It's going to fail when you send to the investor. It will not play. The tools aren't there, and those always don't work. So don't use that, because the risk here is that if it plays, it's great. But if it doesn't play, your pitch is constructed in a way that they need to see that content, they need to listen to that voice to understand your idea, right? If it fails, it fails whole. The only case maybe would be if your product is like voice music or something like that, or working with that, and you want to show that, and then in that case you need to have your own equipment with you, go before, one day before, check, double check, triple check that it's working. Otherwise it doesn't make sense, right? So it will always fail. I used that, and from my experience, so at some point I started like avoiding any video material, any audio material. And also when you're sending, don't use like some kind of tools or something like their animated stuff and so on and so forth. You see, I'm doing animations today, but all on PDF, like all the ways of creating cartoons, right? You just have the same picture with changes and you switch. You use that trick, and always use PDFs. PDFs are working everywhere. So I have done like hundreds of pitches. At some point, I avoided video, audio, and switched to PDF. Till today, I only use PDF, and I advise you to use only PDF. And then it comes to ethical connection. Ethical connection is something that usually founders fail before even entering the stage or after the stage. It's not only what is going on the stage, but the investors are looking at you all the time. When you were entering the room, maybe they were coming with you or something else. First of all, you need to be nice to people. Like that's not for investors, but you need to be a good person and be good to people, be nice to people, and avoid having like criticizing some opinions or something. Let's say you smoke, and I think, yeah, if you smoke, you make fun of like non-smokers, or you are not smoker, you make fun of smokers. Your investors might be, in my case, we were dealing with overweight people, and we were helping people to manage weight. That's a very, very sensitive topic. If you say like something wrong, and usually like in the world there are 1.2 billion people who are struggling with weight management, and there's always someone in the audience that is on that, and the reasons are so different. Someone got a disease, someone eating more, someone is lazy, someone like the reasons why people have weight problems is so different and so personal and so sensitive. So you in every time we were pitching or creating any content, that was always in our mind. So put it in a way you don't offend anyone. So be careful, know your audience again, and know what they care about, and be nice. And another thing is again ethical connection. So it might come with the numbers. Like let's say you want to fake numbers, right? So you want to be true. You always, even if it's not speaking of your interest, you need to speak the truth, because they're gonna find out. They're gonna invite you for a meeting, and so they might already know about that about your market, about your numbers, about your friends, and so on. So you need to tell the truth. There is this saying that fake it until you make it, and there is a struggle with that for founders. How much you should fake, and how so are you lying or faking until you making? Because there is this thin line again. Who knows Elizabeth Holmes, the Theranos case?
Yeah.
So a startup that raised the most in the world and got into trouble because some people think that she's lying, and some people think she's a startup founder, as usual startup founder, and she predicts something, she believes in something, and she's not lying. So I think to not be like Elizabeth, to not do the same mistake as Elizabeth, you need to be aware how much are you fantasizing and how much do you believe, and are those hypotheses or facts. Sometimes we used to kind of mix. Is this a reality, or this is a hypothesis? Is this proven, or this is hypothesis? I believe in that. Be careful with that, and always tell the truth, and respect those people. Respect everybody, first of all, and respect especially the investors, because I have seen a lot of founders that think that investors got this money out of thin air, or from their grandma, and they're like giving away money, right? And like, I'm a cool startup founder, you should give me money. So the thing is that this connection, you fail even if you don't speak, right? If you think like that, they're gonna know. So people are talking to each other, not only with verbal communication. Actually, verbal communication is very limited tool for communication, but they talk to each other. They're gonna feel, especially Armenian founders. Like there is this thing like, this stupid Amerikatsik, this stupid Evropatsik, if you think like that, you failed already. You failed, because they're gonna see that in your eyes, in your movement, in the way you communicate, in the way you ask questions. They're gonna see that. So, or like, Սփյուռքա հայերը բան, դուք ինչ եք հասկանում, մենք դժվար է, ֆաունդերի կյանքը Հայաստանում դժվար է. So you need to avoid those things, especially if you are doing a startup in Armenia. You are going to meet a lot of Spurkai investors. So and this is like more inner work than outer work. So you need to work with yourself to respect those guys, because they have their own challenges. They went through their life journey, and they made this money, and they are risking this money, and they are giving you this money like almost like a present, because the contracts, anybody familiar with safe contracts? So safe contract is basically says like, investor is giving this money to this founder. He has all rights to decide whatever he wants to do with this money, and investors have no control. If that fails, investors have no control. They are not going after you. But if you succeed, then you should give them shares of your company. So it's almost like go try to get money from the banks. You'll see the difference, right? So you need to be respectful with these guys. because they are giving you money to accomplish, to reach your dream. So and I'm surprised how many times founders fail at this, even though when you get to know these founders, they're normal people, like there's not some street guys, right? Normal educated people fail at this ethical connection. So think about that, be careful, and when it comes to respect, it's like equal deal. I'm here to present my company. You're here to listen to that, and we are here to understand both sides. If there is a win-win deal, if not, so thank you for your time and so on, right? If the moment you look at the investor from the top, you will lose this ethical connection. The moment you look from the bottom, they'll not pay attention. So you need to keep this balance. So we are partners in this, equal partners. I'm doing my job, you're doing your job. I respect your whatever you're doing, and I ask you to respect also my time, my work, and so on. And you need to keep. This is like very hard to do because every time two people meet each other, this is happening all the time. Either you stay there, either you stay there. You need to control this to keep it. It's very hard, depending on whom you are meeting and what is the situation. You need to keep this level with them. Okay, now let's do another exercise. I need a volunteer, a startup founder. Come over. Your name? Gurgen. Okay, Gurgen, explain your company, your startup in one sentence.
It's hard for me. I can talk about it in Armenian.
Okay, have a seat. You failed. So, if you don't speak English, at least the level I speak, it's not like very high level. Leave this room, go sign up for English courses, because you are going to fail. If you don't speak English and you started a startup, I promise you your startup will fail if you don't fix this problem today. So you go, leave everything, start on English courses. So that's the way you start the startup. You first learn English, then go do the rest. I need another volunteer who speaks English. Okay, you. Your name?
Ani.
Ani. Nice to meet you, Ani.
Nice to meet you.
Ani will tell you what she does in one sentence.
We are an online platform that brings together customers and providers.
What problem they solve?
They solve the problem of connection between customers and providers. However, I do not understand who is the customers and who is the provider.
Who is the customer? Are they making any money?
I don't know.
Is it a big market or something like?
Don't know. Still no way yet
Okay.
to understand that.
Okay, thank you. Have your seats. Elevator pitch. You have heard of elevator pitches, right? It says like describes a situation when you enter an elevator and the investor is there and you have 30 seconds to pitch your idea. That's basically one sentence, right? Yeah. Yeah, but you need, yeah, it's even more difficult. Yeah, I know it's difficult. So we are not testing you. So there is a way to do that actually in one sentence. It's even less than 10 seconds, right? In one sentence, use this template. You can switch the sides if the words are coming together or your case is a little bit different, but try to do this exercise to give the name of your startup. In this startup, we help target clients. Let's say in UATE, we help tech companies to solve, let's say, talent development problem that we actually do using STEM education programs for K-12 solution in order to provide them with the top best talent, values, what values you are delivering. In one sentence, you identified who is your customer, what problem you are solving for your customer, what is the solution of that problem, and what values you deliver to your customer. So this is like your gun. You need to be equipped with this pitch, and you use this all the time, not only with investors. Whoever you meet, like is it a partner, is it a colleague, person you want to recruit to work for us? Are you looking for a co-founder? Are you selling to your customers? You get to know people. In US, when people meet, the second question is what you do, or what you do for a living. So you need to have this speech, this sentence ready whenever you meet a new person. You right there. You first of all you lay down the structure. Like you take the template, problem, solution, this, that, and then you put the ideas in written. Put the ideas there. How I'm going to talk about the problem. You literally write the text, whatever you are going to tell. So everything starts with the white paper. You put down the structure, problem, solutions, market, and so on. Then start to feeling, okay, what am I going to tell? Usually our ideas are perfect, beautiful in our minds. But whenever we start writing those ideas, we realize those are not that perfect, right? Sometimes you write and you say, okay, this is bullshit. You swipe and then start writing. So you need to do this exercise with you so your pitch gets better. Once you created the speech, the text that you are going to tell, the next is describing the visuals. Whenever I am talking about this, what is the best visual that helps me to better convey the message? It's not, you're not going to have, if you are presenting, you are not going to have those texts on the slides. Don't add text into the slides. The slides should be clean visuals like images, keywords, numbers, things like that are helping you to better convey your message. So as if there is no slides, you do the same. But if there are slides, those are helping you, and you train every time when you hit the clicker, when you switch the text, switch the slide. So it's not competing with your text, because whenever you switch the slide, they are going to pay attention what's in there. If there is a text, they're gonna stop listening to you and they are going to read this text. So don't add text there. Add keywords, add images. So you describe the images that you wanna have there while we are talking. Then you start working with a designer. You give them this description. You tell them, okay, I'm going to talk this, but I need an image that is showing things like that. Or if you're talking about the market, I need to show this number very big, only one number on the slide. So this way you create a collaboration between the visual and the verbal. Once you have your slides, then next thing is you learn by heart your text. Even though those are your ideas, but every time you speak about that, you're gonna speak differently. But you need to do it like learn by heart. No emotions, just memorize the text. Then after you memorize the text, you have the slides, everything just starts. So you start training. You take ask the arrangement for the organizers. Are you going to have a mic, clip-on mic? Are you going to have a mic that you need to hold? Is there a clicker? What's the arrangement? Because you'll see a lot of founders that get to this, they prepared everything, get to the stage, and they give you this microphone with the clicker, and the founders start doing this, and they don't know how to operate on this, and they forget the text. Okay, so you need to train. Ask the arrangement. If there is a mic, if there is a clicker, take a bottle of water, something that will serve as a clicker, and play with that. Play with that while at home, and deliver your pitch, remembering when to switch the slides. Right now, so if you are going to use the slides as reminders, you failed. So you need to be looking to your audience, and you are sure what's going on there. And when you are switching the slide, you might want to check if the only reason to look at the slides is check to see if the slide change. Otherwise, you don't want to look. So you have your slides visually on your head in front of your eyes, and you switch the slides on words. So you remember whenever I say this word, that's the time when I switch the slide. And then go. Next thing is that once you memorized your text, you are started training, you start already designing, training your movements, training your voice intonation, and so on and so forth. And do that. Ask your friends to shoot video and then watch this video. That will help you to then sharpen your. If you do this 50 times, you are going to nail it. So do this 50 times, deliver your speech, or on front of a mirror, or do a video. Video is better because then you have you can do retrospect. You watch your video and, okay, this word I didn't say with the correct intonation, whatever. So this is what it takes to prepare. Like it's a huge homework, but it's worth it because you win. You impress and you win. And one more thing about stress. Stress will be always there, being that one-on-one or on the stage. On the stage is better higher the stress. You need to learn tactics and use tactics how to overcome the stress. It's not going to go away. It will be always there. You need to just learn how to handle that. And there are great tactics. If you search in Google, couple of those is one is like if you don't have the luxury of so everybody is watching, so you can't do things like jumping like that. You increase the stress like someone is suffocating you. You squeeze all of your muscles, take a breath, and then relieve. So that way you increase the stress and then let it go. It helps. But the best things are if you can find somewhere to do a couple of push-ups, maybe some boxing, or all the known artists and motivational speakers, everybody who is working on the stage, they use these tricks. Some people, like, they have trampoline. Yeah, they have trampoline behind the scene. They jump on the trampoline, then enter the stage. If you think they come from home like this with the coffee and then enter the stage like with the energy, that's not like that. So they do something behind the stage, so they have this energy when they are entering the stage. So you need to find a way to do some physical activity, because scientists proved that physical movement is changing your mood. It was always known that that mood is impacting your how you stand, how you move. But now it's proven that even if you are stressed, if you are angry or something, if you do positive movements, your mood changes. So you need to do that to avoid stress. I think I shared all. Are there any questions? We have 15 minutes for questions.
About the VCs. So each VC has their own mandate. How to better understand what kind of information is put in this mandate to better teach their needs?
I didn't get the question.
How to better understand. So each VC has their own mandate. It's like an information in which startup do they invest, in which kind of sector, and what kind of risk are they able to take. So how better, but usually this information is closed and unpublished on their web pages, etc. So how to better understand their needs and how to better understand the origin of their mandate.
Okay, so first of all, most of them actually publish their investment thesis, serious investors. Maybe not angels, but venture capital firms usually in their website they lay down their investment thesis or in how they look at the startups, what they are encouraging, what they are looking for, and so on and so forth. Do your homework, search for public information. If they don't provide that, maybe those investors went to podcasts, they checked their social media. Maybe it's not there on their websites, but in social media they comment somewhere, they post somewhere, they go to they give interviews where they talk about their investment thesis. Third is check who are the limited partners. If you can find information about who are the guys who give them, limited partners are their investors. So venture capital funds get money from somewhere. Sometimes maybe that's a bank, that's a it's not all the time public, but sometimes you can find, let's say, they brag about that when they were creating the fund. They told, like, okay, for example, there's Formula VC. Formula VC told everybody told everybody publicly that Sec Quadrat is investing in their fund. So you know where the money is coming, right?
They also
check.
have their portfolio very often in their website.
Yeah. Great idea. So check the portfolio. If you see, you'll see the pattern. If you look at what they invested already, you will see the pattern. Thanks.
Can you shortly tell your failure story? Because it's more interesting to hear failures rather than the success. Success is very small perspective. Failures, we can get more things that we can avoid.
I see. What specifically you want to hear about? Because it's a 7-year failure story.
Briefly, what is the most important
Most important learning, start with desirability. Because this is where we failed. We start with feasibility. We didn't know even someone cares about weighing themselves, but we knew that this is very interesting thing. We're gonna have patent, by the way we have.
You speak about your fintech product.
Sorry?
You speak about your fintech product.
It's not fintech product. Yeah. So we failed at where we were young. We didn't have much access, network, knowledge. We just did something that is fun. Then we learned how to pitch to investors. We pitched, we got some money, we did another mistakes. We had some learnings. Based on these learnings, we raised again. We spent that money again, did wrong things. So,
when you decided to stop, why do you think that you failed?
yeah, this is a very, very interesting question. The startup fails whenever founders give give up. Whenever founders give up. So if the founders aren't giving up, the startup is alive. So you give up. It took 7 years to convince us to give up, but sorry.
You have tried to fight with this and you have stopped.
It's not that easy. I even emailed one of my mentors to the same question, like when is. So I attended a course in Draper University, and Tim Draper was mentoring us personally. Tim Draper is one of the generational VCs of Silicon Valley, iconic guy. And there is a startup hero oath, and there are some points. One of the points says every morning we would start with saying this oath out loud, and one of the points is I will fail and fail again until I succeed. So I asked them to and I helped them to find jobs, because and they believed in me so much, because 3 times in that 7 years they saw that we were cash burnout and I was able to solve the problem. So they were not believing that this is over. But you need to look at the situation. Market is it started in April. So we were in. So I can tell this already because NDA is gone. So we had an NDA with Nike. And in April they told us we are not interested to acquire your company, and we knew that we have 3 months money left. So we started pivots, fundraise, whatever doing. It was August. We didn't succeed with closing the funds, but we were in conversations with investors. We were about to close $4 million seed round, and the market crash started. Investors disappeared, backed off, and I couldn't predict any good things. So I couldn't believe that if we keep this situation for another 2 months, then we will be able to raise funds. So that's why I decided to cut the. Yeah. So it's really tough, really tough. Some of my mentors were joking, like, "Are you still around? Like you started all the wrong. We did every single mistake that startup founders shouldn't do, and we were reading books and crying, like, why we didn't read this book 4 years ago." Yeah.
Maybe you can share with us.
Sure. 4 steps to epiphany. I'm terrible at English, but 4 steps to epiphany. To epiphany. Mom's test. I said, so read these 2, start with these 2, then the rest will follow.
How many startups do you run? Second question, once you tell that the outsourced company cannot do the startups, and you tell that you prove that, can you please?
Okay. First of all, I did only one startup. The first one, it was outsourcing. First company was outsourcing. I shut down this company, worked for 3 years for product companies, then start my product company. And so I don't have a experience of successful startups. So you can please consider that. So whatever I'm telling, it's coming from just learnings that we did by mistakes, but I haven't had just chance to apply this learning yet to create another successful startup, right? So that's why I'm not doing this too much. And Seda asked, I just wanted to share with you, but I don't know how to create a successful startup, guys. I know how to not fail some of the points, but I don't know what. And every successful startup has its own formula, so you can't go through the same direction and succeed. But there are some wisdom that comes with the failure that I wanted to share with you. Coming to your question, so I did one startup that failed. Why? And I have friends who tried to do outsourcing and startups and failed. Okay, and the problem is that it's totally different mindset. When you are doing outsourcing, it requires different way of thinking and running a business, starting from the culture of your team to dedication to whatever, to challenges. Like challenges are exponentially different when you are doing a startup versus doing an outsourced company. And I have seen that when company is starting a product, there is a misconception that if we are a successful company and we build our own product, we still will be successful with selling this product. As I said earlier, the product is a very important part of the business, but it's not all, right? It's very, let's say 1/8. In case of startups, it's 1/8, I think, the product. The rest goes the team, the market, whatever. There are internal and external conditions, right? So to create a team, the winner team, world-class team, it's like hell of a job, right? You might, with outsourcing, it's different. You do something, contract is over, everything is over. You don't continue with that. And even for software engineer, it requires different mindset, different approach. So to shift to a product, you need to transformation first in your mind as a founder. In your mind, then you need to be successful in transforming your team, because it's totally different processes, thinking, and so on. And usually people fail at this transformation. And once you transform there, you fail the outsource. So that's why it's not encouraged to do outsourcing. The way you do that, some people do that successfully. You exit from outsource. There is another, your friend, your founder is working with the outsource. You don't have any operational role in the outsourcing company. You are a shareholder. Strategically, you might sometime involve, and you create totally new company that is building this product, and you recruit some people from their outsourcing company, but those who have the potential to go through this transformation with you. That might succeed. But building a product, so you think that if you are successful building product for others and they are successful of selling this product, from your side, it appears very appealing. Like, I built this product, this guy is making, this son of a bitch is making $1 million and giving me $100,000. You see, but you don't see what they are building there, what they are doing to sell this product. So that's the problem. So selling a product, selling a service, totally different things. Any other questions? Oh, we passed to... Okay. We are waiting for someone. He is late and he is doing a favor to you. so we can spend more time. If there are questions. Go ahead. Sorry? How to understand if you are better suited to do a startup or not? Is that question?
Yes, more like is there a defined filter you can use, sort of like a principal mechanism as idea two.
Oh, okay. Read these books. That's the question. You need to first validate desirability problem. So you need to validate your idea. So if it's going to fail, you want to know it in advance, because the biggest investor is you. You invest your life.
Just to clarify, I mean, the model of startup, that is one thing. We have other models in business or like
Yeah.
So whether to go with startup or not.
Oh, that's totally different question. Great question. Thanks for asking that. So actually, there is a way to identify whether this product should be built with the startup model or any other model. That's defined by the market, actually. So decision is coming from the market, not by the bantics of founder. So it doesn't matter. Market doesn't ask which business model you used to build this product. Actually, the customers don't care. Who cares? iPhone is created by startup or corporation or whoever, right? So the thing is that what matters with the appearance of venture capital model. The startup model is venture capital model. So venture capitalists bet on this model. So the answer is in the market. So traditional way of doing business is that you are growing 10-20% annually if everything is successful, and you go this way, right? The startup way is that you go this way and this way. And this is defined by the market in a way that if the first indicator is your market big enough? So let's say in Armenia or in the world, people spend to buy these pens annually $10 million. So if you acquire 100% of this market, it's $10 million. No VC is interested to give you any penny on that, right? So they're looking for companies that can become billion-dollar companies. If you are doing billion-dollar revenue per year, that means that market is probably $10 billion, trillion-dollar market where you can make $10 billion revenue annually, right? So first thing is the cap, market cap, and they're gonna ask you about that. And you can ask yourself, is this market big enough? So I want to bet, and it will be interesting for the investors as well. Second, second is that, not second, but the continuation of the first. So if your market is big, you should do startup model. So the market will not allow you to go with traditional business model. Why? Because your competitors will go startup way. So you are growing annually this way, and you are not taking investment. You are not going to investors, or even they are coming to you. You are saying, I don't want to give shares of my company. It's okay. I'm making profits. I'm growing annually. I'm growing annually, so I'm good. Your competitor will go to an investor, raise $100 million, and bury you with marketing. Your best outcome will be if they don't create better competitor product for you, they will buy your company, or they will push you out of market if they figure out to build a better product or the same product. So it's all about marketing. Series A, once they reach, so you will not see them once they until they reach Series A. Once they reach Series A, they will come after you. So market defines whether go with startup or not go. And the key indicator is the market size. Second indicator is how investment heavy and how long are your sales cycles. Let's say if you're selling to governments, investors don't like it because the selling cycles are too long and they're not able to identify and you're not able to grow fast. So the first thing is market is there, big market. Did you come up with the business model and the product that is scalable fast enough? If they pour $100 million into your company, you can spend this money in 1 year, in 18 months, and grow 100 times. That's why also VCs aren't willingly invest in hardware startups, because it's hard to manufacture, to grow, to scale, logistics, and so on and so forth. That's why software is winning there to start. They love software, and it's and sometimes I swiped it. So viability is not just like unit economics. It's also some startups do business model innovation, and there is a product in the market that is not allowing exponential scale because of the processes and so on. They figure out a way how to sell this product in big quantities and scale fast. A good example of that is Dollar Shave. So Dollar Shave is selling razors, a kit for shaving with $1. That product is a commodity and known like for ages, but no one made billion dollar company on selling shaving kits. They figured out logistics, a business model that allowed them to exponentially grow. That's how they convinced VCs to invest in them. So that's two things, like, is the market allowing you to scale? Are you able to create a business model and product that allows you this scale? If million people come to you today, are you able to serve all of them? Or it will take 5 years to serve all of them? Those are two indicators. Վերջացրեցինք։ Okay, շնորհակալություն։ Հուսով եմ